Hello anime wees and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss out on future content. Today we're delving into an issue that has created numerous disputes in the gaming community: anime games. We've all heard that phrase, haven't we? The belief that anime games frequently fall short of expectations or are regarded as inferior when compared to other kinds of games. Is this true, however? And if so, why is this notion so prevalent in today's society? In today's video, I'll go over this in greater detail, breaking down the numerous elements that lead to this viewpoint. I'll walk you through the complexities of anime game production and the particular issues that these games confront, from license and adaptation challenges to cultural differences. So whether you like anime games or both, stick around. This will be an exciting excursion into the realm of anime games. Let's get this party started. Now, this might be the thing that has the most impact on whether an anime game comes out good or not. When a developer produces a game based on a popular anime, they are challenged with converting a full universe, including the stories, the characters, the aesthetics, how the anime is designed, the writing style, the drawing style, everything, into an interactive medium. Just because of the fundamental distinctions between passive and interactive media, this is a very challenging process. Furthermore, the developer is frequently required to operate within the limits imposed by the licensor, which is the one who publishes the anime. This may restrict creative flexibility and can result in games that are either excessively strict in their adherence to the source material, making the game feel old and unoriginal, or too loose, leading to fan displeasure if the game deviates too far from the original. Game designers have the painstaking job of trying to find a fine balance between developing an interesting gameplay experience and being faithful to the original market and to the original material. If not done correctly, the game may fail to satisfy fans while also failing to attract new players, leading to divisive critics in the review systems. Now, another reason why anime games come out way less mature than other video games is the gaming business frequently works on tight deadlines, seeking to release games in time for the anime's peak popularity so that the popularity doesn't drop and the anime game doesn't do horrible. However, game creation is a complex process that necessitates a significant amount of time and resource in order to produce a polished end product. Hasty development can result in a variety of issues, including errors, a lack of material, uneven gameplay, and other issues. These flaws can have a substantial impact on the player's experience, giving the impression that the game is of poor quality. Worst case scenarios can also result in a crunch mentality within the development team, which is a time of overwork before the game's releases. This can have a negative impact on the team's health and morale, thereby lowering the quality of the game. Now, another reason why an anime game might not come out as polished as other video games in the industry is that not all anime games have the same level of financial support as AAA releases. Lower budgets may limit resources in areas such as aesthetics, sound design, gameplay mechanics, and others. Lower budgets can also result in game design compromises. The game may, for example, feature less detailed graphics or fewer voice-acted lines. It may also limit the game's breadth, resulting in shorter gameplay or less overall material. These elements may lead to the game's image as subpar in comparison to high-budget releases. Take a game like the recent Fairy Tail that released, for example. It's a game built on a major anime franchise, but it did not have the budget as maybe Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 or Dragon Ball Kakarot, and you can see the decline in popularity of the game and the design and overall design of the game. Now, I decided to bundle cultural differences and target audience together because they're both basically covering the same subject. option, and it's just that anime games are frequently developed with fans of the source material in mind, people who have read the manga or watched the anime. This can occasionally lead to gameplay or narrative choices that pander to anime lovers or manga readers rather than just general video game players. While catering to fans could be useful, it can also limit the game's overall appeal. For example, the game may have inside jokes or references that only those who have read the manga or watched the anime would understand, or it may put emphasis over story over gameplay, which may not appeal to people who are seeking a more gameplay-driven experience. When a game is overtly focused on appeasing supporters, it risks alienating potential new players. Now you see, as you can see, there's a fine line trying to balance both introducing new anime aficionados or just impressing current people who've already watched or read the anime or manga. Now, for cultural differences, it can have an impact on how a game is regarded. What works in one culture, in Japanese culture, may not work in another. This is visible in things such as the plot, the humor, and even the game mechanics. The story structure, character stereotypes popular in anime, for example, may not resonate as well with gamers unfamiliar with these norms. Furthermore, several gaming techniques in Japan, such as, let's just say, gacha mechanics, may be perceived as less fun, or even exploitative in other countries. Take Genshin Impact, for example. These cultural differences can lead to the idea that anime games are poor quality and leads to less sales. Now, another reason why anime games may not be as successful in the video game industry is the limited gameplay variety. Many anime games fall within the fighting game or the fighting game genre. While these genres are not inherently terrible or bad, a lack of variety can give the impression that all anime games are the same. This can be worsened further by repeated gaming techniques that can lead to boredom and make the games feel less interesting. Consider fighting game genre in depth. The mechanics might become tedious, especially if the game lacks a varied selection of characters or various fighting styles. As a result, the game may feel shallow or unchallenging due to a lack of strategic depth. Similarly, visual novels frequently follow a predetermined narrative path with little participation, making the game feel more like reading a book than playing a game. Players accustomed to more involved, dynamic gaming experiences may perceive these inconsistencies to be of poor quality. Now, another issue that might have something to do with the lack of quality per se in anime games is the localization. Anime games are frequently created in Japan by, of course, major corporations like Bandai, and then localized for foreign markets. Changes or faults in translations might occur throughout this localization process, affecting the quality of the game's story or its dialogue. This can also lead to cultural incompatibilities, in which games features that make sense in the context of Japanese culture do not translate well to other cultures. Localization is probably the most difficult process that needs not only linguistic translation but also adaptation of cultural references, comedy, and other context-specific components. It might result in confusing or awkward speech, plot inconsistencies, or even gameplay flaws if done incorrectly. It might also mean that nuances and subtleties from the original edition are lost, making the game feel less immersive or interesting. And now my final reason that I believe that anime games are not as successful as other genres is that they receive inadequate marketing and promotion. Anime games, particularly those based on lesser-known series, are frequently not subjected to the same level of marketing and promotion as other sorts of games. This can lead to a lack of knowledge among the potential players, affecting the game's success and sense of quality. The video game market is extremely competitive, and successful marketing is critical to the success of a game, especially to the initial success. A game can be easily overlooked if it is not properly promoted, regardless of its true quality. This can result in decreased sales, reducing the resources available for updates, expansions, or even sequels. As a result, there may be a negative feedback loop in which the perceived lack of success of the game encourages the notion of lower quality. Now, let's get into some games that have some of these issues that I've highlighted out in my video. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. This game was an eagerly anticipated game by fans of the Dragon Ball franchise and just anime fans worldwide. However, while it was praised for its faithful adaptation of the anime's storyline and characters, some players criticized it for its repetitive gameplay and lack of depth, demonstrating the challenge of balancing fan service with engaging gameplay. And I don't mean fan service as in, skimpy outfits, but focusing on staying true to the source material while introducing gameplay concepts. Another game is Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. This game, based on the popular Sword Art Online anime, experienced some significant localization issues when it was first released in the West. The English translation was filled with so much grammatical errors and awkward phrasing, which detracted from the overall experience of many players, especially new players that would have gotten into the Sword Art Online anime just because of the game. Another game, and this is one that really hurt my heart, because I played it when it first came out and I absolutely loved it. But even I was able to realize the downfalls of this game, One Piece World Seeker. Despite being based on one of the most popular anime and manga franchises in the world, this game received mixed reviews. Many critics pointed out that the game felt rushed and unpolished, with repetitive missions and lackluster combat mechanics. This can be seen as an example of the pressures of fast production schedules and budget constraints, because it came at a time when Gear 4 was just released in One Piece, and if you know what that is, then I'm not going to go too much into that. So it was trying to capitalize on the overall popularity of the One Piece fandom at the time. Another game that when I did some research, I was shocked that people were having many issues with was Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. I love this game and I still do. I play it once every month. It's just an amazing game. But while the game was generally well received and is often praised for its faithful adaptation of the Naruto universe, it demonstrates the limitations of genre diversity in anime games. As a fighting game, its appeal was limited to players who are not fans of this genre, but it was not going to translate to fans that were not of this genre. And you could see it's been the same concept for the last 4 games, and while that might be repetitive from other people, I generally found it a very exciting experience, especially with the new gameplay concepts that were introduced. Now, my final game that I think struggled heavily, but this game most likely had the most potential out of all of these games, except for maybe One Piece World Seeker and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, was Attack on Titan 2. The game did a good job of recreating the unique combat mechanics of the Attack on Titan series, allowing players to experience the thrill of using the omnidirectional mobility gear to fight titans. However, some players felt that the game was too focused on the anime storyline at the expense of gameplay depth and innovation, showing the challenges of targeting a specific fan base. Now, this game was one of the few ones that were able to attack this and change it up a bit in the Attack on Titan 2. I don't know if it was a remake. I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically introduced just a new set of missions and weapons and other stuff that increased the gameplay depth and made people want to go back to replay it. But these are just some examples of games that I feel like fell short, according to reviews online and even my own personal opinions, fell short of what they were expected to deliver. Now I'm about to give my list of a game. No, not even a list. Just a single game that more anime developers could look to and see if they could break through that barrier. And one of them is called Persona 5. Persona 5 is a game that has a rich and engaging story. One of the standouts aspects of it is that the story is deep, nuanced, and engaging. The game presents a narrative that is mature, dealing with social issues and moral complexities. It offers a level of narrative depth that is not always found in games, especially those based on existing anime series. It also has unique gameplay mechanics, combining the elements from various genres, including role-playing games, dungeon crawlers, and life simulation games. This mix of gameplay mechanics makes for a huge, unique, and engaging gameplay experience that stands out from many other anime games. The game also boasts high quality graphics, sound design, and voice acting, which all contribute to a polished and immersive gaming experience. This helps set it apart from many other anime games, which can sometimes suffer from low production values due to budget constraints. Unlike many anime games, Persona 5 is also not an adaptation of an existing anime series, but an original property. Although it is kind of part of the larger Shin Megami Tensei series, this gives the game developers more creative freedom, allowing them to craft a game that is designed to be a game first and foremost, rather than needing it to fit into an existing anime narrative or universe. While Persona 5 features a distinct anime art style and storytelling convention, it does not limit its appeal to just anime fans. The game's deep narrative, unique gameplay mechanics, and high production values allow it to appeal to a wide range of players, not just those who are fans of the anime aesthetic. So you see what I'm trying to. So you see where I'm coming from with this video. I believe the main issue is creative freedom and, of course, localization, but more creative freedom. Game developers are not given the creative freedom to produce games that are meant to be games first and foremost, while also balancing the aspects that are meant to be just based on the anime. Okay, so now you've seen my reasons, my examples for good games, and my example for bad games. We've come to the conclusion. That's all there is to it, guys. We've traveled through the fascinating world of anime games, investigating the numerous obstacles and complexities that developers encounter, from the rigors of the tight production schedules to the difficulties of cultural translation, localization, and gameplay mechanics. It's evident that making an anime game is a very difficult undertaking. But keep in mind that while these problems are widespread, they're not unavoidable. Many high-quality anime games have successfully traversed these stumbling blocks, such as Persona 5 that I gave you, or maybe even Nier Automata, providing both a true portrayal of the source material and an entertaining gaming experience. We hope that this video has given you a better understanding and respect for the work that goes into developing these games. As always, we welcome your feedback. Do you agree with what I've said thus far? Are there any games that you believe have conquered these obstacles? Please let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you're new here, consider subscribing for more material like this. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, happy gaming.